China, if you can speak Chinese and you can talk to the doctors in Chinese, I contacted my high school and then they provided me with an English proficiency, and also my Chinese university provided an English proficiency document.
Twizachard, she's got the spark, lighting up the screen, a vision so stark. With every click comes a brand new trick. She's the queen of the digital flick. Hey, 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 it's Twiz's world. We're just rolling through it, girl. Hey, 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 she's the vibe, setting the tone, she's the drive.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is twizachard, and today we're going to be talking about CSC scholarship. So for me, I'm going to be talking from experience because I'm currently a CSC student. I had applied last year, 2025, and I'll be graduating in 2028 with a master's degree in neurosurgery, of which that's basically surgery. So I hope you enjoy the video, and I hope you get information that will help you throughout your CSC application, because I'm going to talk about all the full details that I went through in order to get where I am today. So we'll basically start with the definition of CSC. If you go on Google and check what CSC is, it actually says that CSC scholarship. So for the CSC scholarship, it stands for the Chinese government scholarship, of which it offers full funded opportunities for international students to pursue bachelor's, master's, or PhD degrees in China. That's the most important part. And covering tuition, accommodation, a monthly stipend, approximately 2.5 to 3.5 RMB, and medical insurance. Applications for the 2026 to 2027 intake run from December 2025 to April 2026 through the CSC online portal. So if you check Google, it's actually a full summary of what CSC is. But then if you go on the internet, you see different people telling you, oh, CSC is this, CSC is that, the full application of CSC is this. Today, in this video, it's going to be very detailed of what I went through because I'm currently a CSC student. So for me, from what I know, as Google has said, CSC does run from December to May, right? So you have to go with my time, right? So I had applied in December 2024. I'm a medical student at WENZHOU Medical University. In my time, application started from 2024 December until December 15th until January 10th. So the application was roughly close to a month, you know. So when I applied in January, that's January 7th. That's 3 days before the application closed. So why I'm stating this is because my school application portal administration, the people that are in charge of responding to international students' application, postgraduates applications are very fast, you know. So I had applied on the 7th, as I have mentioned, but the thing is that I uploaded some papers, but then some of the papers went there. So they asked for an English proficiency paper, of which I don't have one. For example, you can use IELTS, the IELTS paper, if you do have it, or if you just have any other English proficiency. So why I'm stating this is because I'm from an English-speaking country, which is Zambia. So in Zambia, because we were colonized by the British people, so we speak English. That's like the main language that the country requires you to have in order for you to graduate in any examination class, you know. So because of that, I don't have IELTS. When I was coming to China, I didn't write one. So I did have the opportunity to write, but it was so close to the deadline. So I told them I don't have it. So then they told me you can actually provide a document from home that you have, that you know how to speak English, of which I contacted my high school, and then they provided me with an English proficiency, and also my Chinese university provided an English proficiency document. So these are the two options you can take if you know that these two can actually help you get an English proficiency document. So then after, I can't remember the other paper that they needed, but I did manage to get it. I can't remember which document it is, but I did manage to get the papers. I needed 3 documents. So after applying, I was really impressed with how WENZHOU Medical University responds to your messages, or they email you quickly, because I had applied to 12 universities. So because I had applied to 12 universities, some universities got back to me saying, oh, you needed a professor's acceptance letter before we accept you. Others didn't even reply at all, while others like WENZHOU were very quick at replying. So after me producing the documents and the deadline came on the 10th, by February, the whole application process was like quiet, because from January until March, that's called winter vacation, of which that's the time when all the Chinese universities go on holiday. So because of that, none of the officers are working in their offices, right? So from January until March, I remember on March 2nd, the professor I'd applied to, they didn't require me to have a professor's acceptance letter. They just let me apply just like that. The professor reached out to me on WeChat, because each time you're applying, both on CSC and the university portal, you're supposed to write your WeChat ID. So the professor actually added my WeChat ID and then sent me a request, and I accepted. And then he told me he's supposed to have an interview with me, and I'm supposed to prepare like a document about myself and everything about myself, and that's what I was going to present. So for me, I was already prepared because I applied to 12 schools, so I did have a document. So why I'm stating this is because I'm trying to give you a tip, right? In my document, I added my rotation plan of my undergraduate, all the departments I had been to. I also inserted pictures of all the surgeries I had participated in gastro, in urology, in gynecology, because during undergraduate, you can actually ask the teachers, the professors, if the doctors there, if they could allow you to take pictures. And Chinese people are like the sweetest people ever. They will accept. They will tell you. Some will tell you, let me take on my phone, then I'll send it to you. While others will let you take from like your own phone. In China, if you can speak Chinese and you can talk to the doctors in Chinese, because majority of them know how to speak Chinese and only a few can speak English. So if you have that kind of personality and you're open to have a conversation and you ask for permission, they will accept. So in my document, I ended up putting also all the surgery pictures I had taken. And then I had gone home in 2023, so I was at UTH at that time. I also took pictures in the neurosurgery department from there. I inserted it into my file. So then when the time when we had the interview, because he reached out to me I think he reached out to me like some days before. Then on the 2nd, that's when we had the interview. So when I had the interview, I was so ready. I don't know how I can explain this to you guys. I was so ready because that was like my second interview I was having, right? Because the first interview I had was from Xi'an Jiao Tong University in Xi'an. So then I was so ready for WENZHOU. So when I was having the interview, of course, you have to look presentable. You have to look organized. Of course, if you're going to be a surgeon as a lady, your nails have to be cut, and you have to look presentable. So then the doctor had an interview with me and he was asking me personal questions. He asked me, first he asked me medical questions. He asked me, what do I know in neurosurgery? And then for me, I didn't even give him the chance to ask me a lot of questions because I was just talking and talking and talking and talking. I said in my PPT, I prepared all the medical neurosurgery terms both in English and Chinese. You know, all the types of surgeries in English and in Chinese. He asked me also what do you do when having a meningioma surgery, like the procedures, what to do. I answered everything. I don't even know how I can explain to you guys. Like, I was so over prepared at that time, you know. And then he also asked me personal questions, how I feel about neurosurgery. Because I'm a lady, it's rare that you see ladies applying for neurosurgery in China, or maybe anywhere else, but in China. So why do I want neurosurgery? Where did I get the passion of studying neurosurgery? And I gave him like a full detailed background of myself and where I come from and who I am and how hard I've worked to reach where I am and whatnot. And then after that, he started telling me like, oh, your Chinese is so good. You pronounce words so well and you can read Chinese and whatnot. And then after that, he told me he's going to submit my name to the university. Then it will be up to the university to get back to me if I've been accepted or not. So why I'm telling you this, it means that it's a good thing, right? Meaning you have passed the first stage. The professor has seen your capabilities and your qualities, you know. So then I knew I had passed that, but then I had to wait on the university. So let's just pause on that, right? So when you're applying for CSC, which documents do you need? So I can see here, sorry, I'm using my iPad because I have all the documents put together in one file. That's the file I was using. So you first need your passport. You have to upload your passport, and then you have to scan your passport and your visa together, your current visa in China. And then the second document's certificate of highest education. It's called a provisional certificate. What that provisional certificate means is that each school, you as a student, for the fact that you studied in China, you have the right to request for that provisional certificate. What it means is that because graduation in China, the academic calendar is that you graduate in June, right? For those who came in September like me. So because you graduate in June, and applications all over China start from, if you're applying for like March intake, applications start in October, right? October to like February. But if you're applying for September intake, like I was doing, the academic calendar moves from, the application starts from like December to June. But before I mention what I want to say, let me just focus on this. It says certificates of highest education. So you can apply for the provisional certificate, right? Because by then you don't have your degree yet, right? So from December, you can, like way before December, if you are still like an undergraduate and you're about to graduate, way before December, start preparing your school mentally, start preparing the international office mentally. Tell them, oh, we are asking for these papers, we're asking for that paper and this other kind of paper. And that office, it's their job to give you that paper, you know. It's their job to provide you with those papers because you are their student, you know. And also, I know that if you have like a really bad reputation or a really bad behavior with the school, they're very hesitant, or they refuse to give you. But it's their job to give you that paper. So start preparing way before December and asking for those papers. For us, they made sure that by November, October, they gave us those papers, right? And then, so you can, instead of them giving you your degree, they will give you a paper written provisional certificate. So that's like your degree in preparation for your actual degree, right? Yeah. And then maybe if you're someone who's coming from home, you can use your high school certificate, like your metric certificate, your A-level certificate, your O-level certificate, your Cambridge certificate. You can use that to apply for this for an undergraduate. And then the other document you need to upload are your transcripts. So for us, they did give us our transcripts. I remember the last 6 months of our 6 years in China were not included because, of course, China knows you're about to graduate. It's the same thing as the provisional certificate. So request for your transcript and then write a study plan, right? So don't make your study plan so detailed, like you put like specific things. Your study plan can be general, like, oh, if you want to study neurosurgery, for example, like my department, you just have to talk about like neurosurgery and everything. Don't say, oh, you want to research in this, you want to research in that, because as you be applying different schools that you'll be applying to, the professors offer different fields of neurosurgery, different specific topics of neurosurgery, so just make sure your study plan is broad. And then get a reference letter. They're supposed to be 2. So for me, I got one from my Chinese language teacher, and then the second one was from a doctor, a neurosurgery doctor at the hospital. So for you, just at least get from like your department that you want to go to and like any other general person. And then you have to upload your physical examination record. So if you're in China, you know that your physical examination papers are valid for 6 months, right? So just make sure your papers are valid, because they really look into that. If it's expired, if it even expired like last week and they're applying and they see it, if they're quick at looking at things, they'll tell you, no, you need to go and like get another paper. They're very serious on this. And those papers, the medical ones, take like within the same week you can get it, but there's some papers like the criminal record, they take 2 weeks to come out. So the next document you need is the Chinese language proficiency certificate, which is also known as HSK. So on this part, I need to clearly, please emphasize, your HSK certificate is as good as your degree in China. Your HSK certificate like sits on your left and your degree sits on the right. They move together simultaneously together. So make sure as you'll be applying, if you know like, oh, next year I want to continue my studies in China, so what do I do? Just prepare in advance and write your HSK. For me, I wrote my HSK in 2024 July. Fun fact, I attempted my HSK 3 times, right? Because the first time I wrote HSK 4 and I passed, but that was back in 2020. I needed it in order for me to continue my undergraduate studies. And then I now attempted it 3 times, the HSK 5. I failed the first time, I failed the second time, but the third time, because I had been practicing it so many times, it's like now it was like at my fingertips. So by the time I was doing it the third time, I ended up passing, right? Like I got 275 out of 300. Why I'm saying this is because from my experience, the higher your marks, the more you are picked. I don't know how I can say this, and I'm saying this in this channel because I don't know, like so many people apply, and then you see like right now, this is February, some people applied, and then despite them having HSK 4 and they had good marks, they were not picked. I don't know why. And then they picked some students who had like HSK 5, like above like 220 or 210, or maybe above like 240, because this CSC, they pick the best of the best, you understand? Because I also know of like some students who applied this same time and they have HSK 5 but less than 210 and they were still not picked, you understand? So maybe they were not picked because of the interviews, or I don't even know, but like some say no, their interviews went so well but still the school never picked them. And like for me, when I was picked, when after like I had the interview with my professor, on the 8th of March, the school reached out to me. They added my WeChat. When the school reached out to me and they said we're asking for a CSC document, I was so happy. And I couldn't believe it. Like, I still never like put my whole heart in it saying that, oh, I've been picked yet. But I was just so happy. Like, it's a good progress. It's progress, sorry, when like at least they reach out to you and they ask for your WeChat, for your document. So then after I sent my document, only to find that when they made a group, we were 10 of us. And by then I didn't even know anybody from that group, But let's pause on that. So the other document that you need, a non-criminal record, which is like the last thing that you need. Don't commit any crimes because they know in the system that you committed a crime. So you need a non-criminal record. You can go and apply for it. And then the unnecessary things that you don't need. CSC doesn't require you to put these things. Articles or papers written. And then examples of art or music that you've done before. And your pre-admission letter. CSC doesn't require you to do that. Why I'm saying this is because first you start by applying with your university. Then you apply for CSC. But then CSC has type A, B, and C. Okay? From my understanding, if somebody else understands it differently, you can please explain to me. You can please comment it in the comment box or let me know, But from my understanding, because I took a risk, right? On the CSC document, you'll see that at the bottom here, it states their rules and regulations. For me, I feel like they didn't say directly, but this is what they said. Type A, first of all, type A is through your embassy. Type B is through the university. And type C is on your own. What this means is, from my understanding, type A, if you have dual citizenship, like the way I'm half Zambian and half Zimbabwean, I can use both my embassies to apply for this scholarship. But the thing is that I reside in Zambia, so I only know the Zambian embassy. So what I did is I created an email, a different email for type B, then a different email for type A, right? And then for type A, because it allows you to pick 3 universities. I looked for the what you call that? There's like a code of your embassy that you have to put. If you just search on Google, what's the code for the Zambian embassy when applying for CSC, everything is on the internet. So I put the code of Zambia, and then I selected the 3 universities. So I put WENZHOU, then I put Wuhan University, then I put Southern Medical University. So WENZHOU was still my first priority. And then what I did for type A is, after uploading all these documents, I then sent them as an email to my mom back home. And then my mom printed the documents, everything I used to apply for type A. My mom printed all the documents and then she put them in a file. Then she took to our embassy in Lusaka. You understand? So then after she did that, we can pause on that. So then type B is through your university. So for type B, I created another email. And then for type B, you are only allowed to choose one university. So I put WENZHOU Medical University. Then I never applied for type C because in my life in China, my 7 years in China, I've never had anyone who's ever applied for type C before. Like you applying on your own and then you speak to CSC on your own. I've never heard that before. So then I only applied for type A and type B using 2 different emails. I remember my friends telling me, Twiza, what you're doing is not allowed. I said, please, it's written in the paper. Like, just read the document properly. It's written in the paper. And my friends were like worried about me and they were telling me, no, Twiza, if you get one CSC and they find out you have this other CSC, I said it's there in the system. They'll know if I have it or I don't have it. You understand? So for me, I took the chance and I took the risk to apply for both A and B. And to my surprise, I got accepted for type B. Both of them went through, but type B is the one that like accepted me. They literally sent me like, you've been accepted. And I was so shocked. And guess who came back asking me how I did it? The same people that were saying that Twiza. I said, Twiza, how to, like, is that even allowed? But now that you're still 26, they're coming to me asking, oh, Twiza, how, when did, after this, what did you do? After this, what did you do? And I was so happy because, like, it's clearly written, guys, in the document. If you analyze it properly, you can. So take the chance and do it. You understand? So now for these documents, there are those that are not important, but if you have published a paper before, because you're applying to be a postgraduate student, so if you have published a paper before, please put it. It's going to give you it's going to help you get picked. It's actually like a good thing. For me, I've never like published before, but I have a friend who told me he had published on an African journal, and maybe that's why they like it actually increased his, you know, his portfolio, his CV. So yeah. So for me, after I'd applied, these are two different sites. You first have to apply to CSC, then apply to your other types of universities you want. So it depends on which one you put. But guess what? The first university I put was Zhengzhou Zhengzhou University in Zhengzhou City. That's the university I wanted so bad because I was in that province, Henan province. And I already met the doctor there. I already knew who was going to be my professor. He speaks good English. We even went for a meeting. He invited me for a meeting in Kaifang. I went for like surgery, you know. I was so ready to go to Zhengzhou. But then Zhengzhou never accepted me. How I found out was on the 8th, when the school reached out to me, when Zhengzhou Medical University reached out to me, they asked me, no, we're asking for a CSC paper. But then I didn't know how to tell them, like, I've already put another university because type B, you only pick one university, and I put Zhengzhou. But then, and that was on a Friday, I was on a train. So then, because it was about 3 p.m. here, I called Zhengzhou University. I made a phone call, and then I asked them, no, have I been picked for CSC and whatnot? And it so happens that the Zhengzhou University administration, they were not like so nice to me. I mean, with the way they were like speaking. But then they told me, no, there's no Zambian here on the list and whatnot. You've not been picked. So I said, okay, if I've not been picked, please revoke my application. That's how I found out that I was never picked in Zhengzhou University, you know. So then they revoked my application. And then I went on CSC and removed their university. Then I added WENZHOU. So when I added WENZHOU, because all your information still stays the same if you've applied before. All your information still stays the same. It doesn't matter which university you put. So I revoked the application on CSC. Then I added WENZHOU and their code. And then it generated a document again. Then I sent it to the administration to WENZHOU Medical University. So then they told me, all right, thank you so much. We'll get back to you. And that was on a Friday. So then I was so disappointed because I truly wanted Zhengzhou University, but that's how I found out that I was never picked. So why I'm stating this is because you might be waiting, thinking, oh, I'll be picked for this or I'll be picked for that. I'm telling you, if the school does not reach out to you, this is something I've learned. If the school does not reach out to you, just know that you've not been picked. That's something I learned, you understand, in my time. So then Monday came, and then all of the sudden, because I kept on checking my portal, I checked my portal on Saturday, on Sunday, Monday came, and then all of a sudden my portal just changed. from submitted, my CSC portal, it just changed from submitted, it went to progress, in progress. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it because, like, even just me recalling that time is, you see how like I'm even acting or reacting, because it really shocked me, you know. And I really wanted this because I knew that for my masters, I didn't want any funding from home. People at home, my mom clearly told me at home, Twiza, I've raised you, I've taught you, you're now grown. And as a parent, I've done my part, I've taken you to school. You doing your masters is your own choice. For the fact that you're even doing it directly from undergraduate straight into masters, because at home, the culture that we have back home is immediately you're done with school, you like start figuring life out, and then you do your masters like when you're 30 or 35 or 40. You know, that's when people do their masters. So me doing my masters at the age that I was, like wanting to start my masters, my mom, because I had told her like 2 years before or a year before, I was telling her, I want to do my masters, I want to do my masters, because that's the system we have in China. Immediately you're done, you proceed. So then she was already mentally ready for me to do my masters, but she clearly told me, she clearly cut ties with me and said, nope, I'm not going to pay for your education anymore. We are done, you know. So then I really, really wanted my CSC to go through, because I applied for like different kinds of scholarships, but that's for another video. This video is specifically just for CSC. So then when it changed to in progress, I was so happy. And then all of a sudden, my type A2 changed to in progress in March. So why I'm telling you this is, it's like when March comes, portals start changing. If your portal did not change, I'm telling you, just start looking for another university. If you put your heart and soul into one particular university, just start looking for another university, because for WENZHOU, they say that application ends March 31st. But for WENZHOU, application ended December 10th, right? So then, please, if you see that by March 15th, like mid-March, nothing is changing on your portal to in progress, start panicking, start looking for another university, because that's a sign that you've not been picked. If you've been picked, the school always reaches out to you. And the thing that I learned, not just in my time, like even my seniors before me that I was helping apply, what we noticed was that if the deadline says, for example, like 31st March, like for my friend, she was also applying to WENZHOU in her time. When it says 31st March, don't wait until 31st March at all. This is when the application is finishing, so you apply the day before, like 30th March. That same day, 31st March, that's the day that they are dispatching information telling people, oh, you've not been picked, you've not been picked, you've not been picked, because they start picking 2 weeks before the deadline. So if you see the deadline, don't follow that at all. They start picking 2 weeks before. So then when my portal changed to in progress, I was so happy. They made a group. We were the 10 of us in the group. I didn't know anybody. And like in the group, I was just quiet and like trying to monitor everything and whatnot. People were asking different questions. No, Lao share this. No, Lao share that. Oh, what happens when this? Oh, the teacher just said, be patient and wait. Wait for May. That's what she said. I remember people were asking questions until like April, like 1st of April from what I remember. She said, just wait for May. So the group went quiet from like March to May. The group was like slowly becoming quiet and quiet until it reached May. And then by that time, some other universities like got back to me, but that's like a story for another video, you know. So by May, I remember May 16th, right? Both my portals, type A and type B, were in progress, both of them. And then by May 16th, I remember CSC itself states that application is from December until May. you know, each school can put like their own time period from this day to this day, but CSC itself is until May. So before May approached, I remember like in April, my friends started making me panic, telling me, no, Twiza, both your applications will be cancelled. You can't open 2 emails and whatnot. I said, you know what? If you feel like it's like that, then at least let me call CSC. So I went on the internet, I searched for their number, I went on Baidu, I searched for their number until I found it. And actually it's on their CSC document if like you apply. So then I called their number, and then they said they're in Beijing. They told me actually we don't control those portals. I said, can't you delete the application for me, because it's like I've been accepted at a different university for type B. They said no, we can't change it, just leave it just like that. So because they said it, leave it like that, I just left it like that, you know. And the other thing I forgot to mention was from like in March, I remember March 11th, that's the day the school sent me my pre-admission. So when the school sent my pre-admission, the WENZHOU Medical University, when they sent my pre-admission, it actually stated that I was accepted on the 7th. And I was surprised because they reached out to me on the 8th, but it says I was accepted on the 7th, you understand? So maybe them reaching out was just them asking for my CSC document, you know? So then when they reached out, they told me to upload that document onto CSC, because remember CSC says pre-admission. So I got the document and uploaded it on CSC. Then that's the time now I sent like the file to them, and then the CSC portal changed to in progress. So now fast forward, when May came, I remember May 16th, someone posted in the group saying, guys, the CSC results are out. And then Laoshi also posted in the group saying, please check your CSC portals. Then they also posted it on the school website, the people that have been picked. So then when they sent it to the group, I was panicking. Like for me, I feel like I was very confident that I've been picked, but the thing that humbled me was the fact that they only picked 3 people. That's the time I got fear, because when they picked 3 people, it made me realize like we were 10 and they only picked 3. Meaning I had the chances of being one of the 7 people that were not picked. That's when I realized that, okay, this thing is really serious, you know? So out of those 3, 2 were PhD students, then 1 was me, the master student, of which I was so grateful. I feel like when I saw that, I got so humbled. I thank God. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy. I couldn't wait to share the information with my mom and tell her, like, I can't believe like I have a full funded scholarship, you know. So then people in the group started asking and whatnot. And I met a friend from Pakistan, like in the same group. The girl used to text me. You know, it started out like slowly, and she used to ask me like so many questions until we became like actual friends, would talk and this. So then when she reached out to me, she told me, have you been picked? My portal is still in progress. And mine changed to like something else. I'll insert the picture of what it wrote. And I felt really bad, because then she started like complaining. She was like, no, I was really looking forward to us meeting and whatnot. And I was looking forward to meeting her, you know. So I just felt bad because we got separated. But then people started asking in the group, no, what does this mean? Are we all picked? What, like, is there something else that we need to do? And then Laoshi just stopped responding in the group. Then she created like a different group where we were now the 3 of us plus her. So we had like a group of only the people that were picked. So that's why she started sending information. She said, no, I'm going to send you the admission letter, and also this time the JW 201, because that's the thing I learned. If you come on JW 202, then you're coming on the regular scholarship, I think, because that's the one I had at undergraduate with the provincial scholarship. Then if you're coming on JW 201, that's CSC. Guys, I couldn't believe it. When they sent like my document, it was saying fully funded. I had to check with my own 2 eyes, like, does it mean I don't have to pay anything? I'll receive a stipend. I will receive dormitory fee, I'll receive medical insurance. And I saw it with my two eyes. I couldn't believe it. I sent it to my mom. I sent to my mom, my grandpa, my aunties, like my mom's sisters and my dad's sisters. You know, I was so happy. They were so happy for me. And then I remember my other friends that were applying at the same time, they were asking me saying, "Oh, Chiza, we hear the CSC portal has changed." I remember only one of my friends that I applied with, for him, his portal changed too. He asked me like, "Can you send me your screenshot?" I sent it to him. Then I told him, "Send me your screenshot too." Then he sent his to me too. And then they were both the same. Then I was like, "No, what does this mean?" Because it only says dispatched to something authority. So then my other friend, I remember she reached out to me. She was like, "Chiza," she sent me her screenshot, and I felt really bad because like me sending mine meant like meaning she's not picked, you know. That's how I told her. And then that's how I learned that if yours still stays in progress, like listen, if yours stays in submitted all that time, just know you've not been picked. Then if it stays in progress all that time after May, it's still in progress, just know that you've not been picked. That's like the time they were giving information to everybody that you've been picked and not been picked and whatnot. So then after finding out, the school told us that school will start in September, and there's no need for us to like bring like any money and whatnot. So then I remember preparing. I went and did my medicals from my university. For those who've been following my YouTube channel and watched my video, you'll know that I did my medicals from my city before coming. When I arrived, let's fast forward it now because everything like came out, and then my CSC portal changed. The school controls everything. Just know that if you're applying for the embassy controls everything. If you're applying for type B, the university controls everything. So after we were picked, my friend from Pakistan told me that they created a separate group for them and told them there are some available spots for school scholarship. But then for school scholarship, what my university offers is that you will only receive tuition fee. Then you have to pay the dormitory fee on your own, the 4,000 yuan on your own. So then she ended up not coming. And then for the rest, they came, and then I later met them here. And then I prepared money for my visa. I think that's the only thing I paid for, my visa and my medicals. So when I came here in September, after like finalizing everything and whatnot, they refunded the 800 back to me, the medical back to me. And when I came here, my portal, my medical portal actually changed. It because Xi'an Jiaotong accepted me and WENZHOU University accepted me. It actually, when I was paying for my medicals, it actually like offered both of them there, saying which one do you want to pay for. And I was so surprised, like everything is in the system. They have all your information. My former school like came out, and then they put like the two universities. Then I had to pick which university I was paying for. And then for the JW, it's now electronic. It's no longer like the way it was the first time I came 7 years ago, where you have to have it physically. This time it was electronic, and it said you can only download it 10 times. And I remember I downloaded it about 3 times, so I only had like 7 chances to download it. So I stopped like downloading it for, I don't even know what I was using it for, but yeah. And then when I arrived, that's the time I downloaded it again. So when I arrived at my university, they required to see your documents that you used to apply. So they got all my documents that I used to apply. Then they scanned them. They scanned my HSK. They scanned my degree, because by then now I graduated and got a degree. They scanned everything. They have everything in the system attaching to your information. So yeah, And then that's how I was put in the system. So this is my full CSC application. If you enjoyed it, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because it's going to help my channel grow. And thank you so much for reaching this far. Then for this 2026 application, I heard that they've actually picked students. And imagine this is February 21st. Students actually, I heard the first interview January 21st, then the other interview people had it on the 5th. So I don't know, from my understanding, I think before the school closes in January, they tell all the professors, they give them the list of names of students whom they should interview. Then they tell them to find time before school opens in March, right? To find time to interview the students. That's what I think. Then the professors interview at the particular time that they are free. You understand? Yeah, I hope that's clear. Yeah, so the professors interview at whatever time they are free between January and March. But for me, I had mine on 2nd of March. Yeah. And then I heard some have actually not even been picked, while some have been picked for those who've not been picked, despite their interviews with the professors being good, the school still never picked them. But my university, even though you are not picked, they're still offering for you to apply for school in March, which is under the school scholarship, of which they only cover your tuition fee, then you pay dormitory fee 4,000 yuan on your own, of which in my time the application started, I think, 17th of March. So maybe this year too it will start like 17th or 18th of March. When the application starts, you will see it. So just make sure you're checking the portal all the time. Then the other thing I wanted to talk about was the money, the stipend that they wrote on Google saying 2,500 to 3,000. What that means is, if you come as an undergraduate, CSC will always give you per month 2,500 per month. And then if you come under masters like me, CSC will give you 3,000 yuan per month. Then if you come as a PhD student, my PhD friends receive 3,500 per month. Then if you decide to live outside school, because if you live in the dorm, the school, like CSC pays, so you don't have to pay for dormitory. But if you decide to live outside school, if you're a PhD student, the school will give you 1,000 yuan on top of that 3,500 for accommodation outside. So depending on whatever type of rent you get for that house, they'll give you the 1,000, which is guaranteed. Then depending on the rent fee, that's where now you like remove the excess money from your own money. And then for master students, because I'm living outside, the school gives me a 700. Then to top up the money for my rent, I get it from my own 3,000. Then for undergraduates, I don't know how much they receive to stay outside, but all I just know is that the stipend is 2,500. Your CSC application is dependent on your school application. If your school application doesn't go through, just know that your CSC application too hasn't gone through. So if you work on your school application so well, no matter how many universities you apply to, and then you get picked by one of them, just know that by CSC too, you have chances of being picked. So I think maybe the school accepted about 60 students in total, both CSC, school scholarship, and silk. Only about 38 came. So in my class, in my batch, we are actually 38. But then when I came, I was surprised when I saw the CSC list, because I'm actually the monitor. So I was actually surprised to see we were 3 plus, I think there are 15. There are about 10 to 15 students who are on silk. So the students on silk, I was asking, I know what silk belt and road scholarship is, but then I was surprised that they also call it CSC, For me, that's the first time I was actually learning that. So they accepted about 10 to 15 students, of which they are also on CSC, but for them it's known as silk. And even when I tried to ask like some of them when they had applied, it wasn't like very clear, but they told me for them, they created a different group. They had their own group, and their group was made in June for them. And then that's when they sent them the admission letters, and then they posted them on our school website. So I don't know when they apply, but it's also under CSC, but it's known as silk. But I think they apply from the same CSC portal. I think so, you know, because for it they accept about 10 to 15 students, and most of them have HSK 4 for them. Most of them have HSK 4. So yeah, I hope this information helps, because apart from me applying for CSC, actually for me it's called CSC type B Gauchi, like high something something. Mine is written Gauchi, and then for the other ones it's written CSC type B silk, but we both receive the same amount of money, the same benefits, the same offers. Yeah, so I hope this information helps. So we've come to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I hope I gave you all the information. If you feel like you have questions, you can still comment and ask me. I will totally answer your questions in all honesty, you know. So all the best in your application, and please be persistent, be consistent, and strive to get that scholarship, especially if you have the right documents. You know, I saw a comment from someone, like from my recent video. Someone was asking, oh, how can I apply for, I don't know how they phrased the question, but they were asking how they can apply. I just simply told them there's no trick around it. If you have the right documents, the documents will speak for you. You don't even have to like push so hard. Your documents will speak for you, especially if you've published a paper, or your HSK, if you have like 5, that's brilliant. And if you have good results in HSK 5, you know. But for my university, if you're applying for clinical, you need HSK 4. But if you're applying for research, academic, you need HSK 3. You understand? So if you have 3, 4, 5, that's good. But CSC is only given to like those that have like the best of them, best papers, if that makes sense. So thank you so much, guys. This is like the 3rd time I'm saying bye. Bye bye.